What's going on, everybody? It is Chris Aiken back with a little bit of CMS news. And this news today, while I don't think it's going to shock a bunch of people, I do think that, well, it still hits home, I guess, as somebody that grew up in the era of the 80s. This is a biggie. I'll get right to it. You guys, before I get right to it, let me just quickly say, do all the podcasting things. Would you please follow, like, subscribe, comment, share, blah, blah, blah. Please do that stuff. It's very helpful. So on to why you're really here, which is, what is this news? Shocking news out of the Whitesnake camp, I guess. Maybe not, again, not shocking, but it's never expected until you actually hear it. David Coverdale has announced his retirement. Famed Whitesnake leader, famed, obviously before that, Deep Purple singer. He's done. He's, after all these years, 74-year-old singer has said, enough is enough is enough. And I support this because it's been very clear if you've watched any, and I do mean any of the videos of the last year or two that he was performing live, the voice was just not there anymore. And I'm a huge fan of Whitesnake. I'm sure a lot of you are as well. And, you just didn't like seeing David Coverdale, this one-time just bastion of hard rock / metal, singing like shit. No one wanted to hear that, so he's stepping down. Now, I could read you the article that's out there on Blabbermouth if you want to check it, but I'm just going to let David tell you himself, because really, that's all that matters. So let's go through this, and maybe I'll stop along. I have not even watched this yet, so maybe I'll stop along the way. Maybe I will not stop along the way. Well, maybe we'll just let it go. But let's see what David Coverdale has to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters of the snake, a special announcement for you. After 50 years plus of incredible journey with you, with Deep Purple, with Whitesnake, Jimmy Page, the last few years has been very evident to me that it's time really for me to hang up my rock and roll platform shoes and my skin-tight jeans. And as you can see, we've taken care of the lion's wig, but it's time for me to call it a day. I love you dearly. I thank everyone who's assisted and supported me on this incredible journey, all the musicians, the crew, the fans, the family. It's amazing, but it really is time for me to just enjoy my retirement. And I hope you can appreciate that. Once again, I love you with all my heart. Fare thee well.
All right, and it just looks like it's just going to get into a highlight video, which I'm not going to play. But there you have it. Straight from the man's mouth himself, David Coverdale has decided it is time to go. And look, it always sucks. As somebody that grew up with this stuff, you expect this stuff to be in your life forever and ever and ever. And let's face it, it's just not. We're getting to that age. I'm getting to that age, and a lot of you that are watching this are at that age or quickly approaching that age where your favorite rock bands are breaking up, dying off, retiring, etc. And it sucks because they're, as much as we've talked for the last several years about you got to see these bands now before they're gone, and who's going to be the next so-and-so? Who's going to fill the next stadiums? The fact that we don't have anybody that's replacing our favorite artists makes these just a little bit more bitter, if you ask me. And this is a big one. This is, Whitesnake obviously was massive. And certainly the 87 album, one of the biggest of the entire era. So it is a sad day. If you are a Whitesnake fan, I am a Whitesnake fan. So, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to finish this up, and I'm going to go right in the other room and crank up the 87 album and just kind of rock through it and remember the good times. And, yeah, that's that. Whitesnake done, or at least David Coverdale done. I don't know if he's going to actually allow Dino Jelusick to go out there and be the singer or some other guy and continue the Whitesnake legacy. I'm sure maybe that's to be announced or to come if that is going to happen. But if it doesn't, which I don't think it should, thank you, David Coverdale, for 4 or 5 decades of great music, man. It's all pretty solid. So that's it. David Coverdale retiring today. And that's going to do it for this episode of the CMS News. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, you can catch me on Saturday over there at the Classic Metal Show, theclassicmetalshow.com. The website is up. You can get all the audio and video links that you could ever care to see over there, plus all of our stuff. And, of course, become a subscriber over at Locals, classicmetalshow.locals.com. You get the extra content there. You get some bonus stuff. It's well worth the trip. So that is going to do it. Thank you again. Thank you. And we'll talk next time right here on CMS News. Thanks.